welcome to my channel. Today I am going to show you how I make sourdough bread. I have my sourdough start. It's about 4 months old. I finally got it right. And I feed, her name is Ingrid, I feed her daily. And yeah, so let's get started. This is a long process, but I'm gonna show you start to finish how I do this. So I start with 1 cup of start. I know some people measure on a scale. I don't. I just use my measuring cups and my measuring spoons. Okay. So that's about 1 cup of sourdough start, and I fed her about 4 hours ago. So this is a good time to do this. She's going to be nice and sour. The bread is going to be nice and sour. Oops. And I keep this cloth on just to keep fruit flies out. It's just a little extra layer, and she can still, you know, get oxygen in there to help keep that nice and fresh and sour. Okay, and then the next thing I do is, because I'm doing a double recipe here, I put in 9 cups of flour. You don't have to double your recipe, but I often do because we have so many people that eat this. 5. Okay, and so there's my 9 cups of flour. As you can see, I didn't level them off or anything. I'm a little just sloppy about it. And then for a double recipe, I'm using 4 teaspoons of salt. This is my pink Himalayan salt, but you can use whatever salt you have. And then I use 4 cups of water, and actually I just like to use my ball quart jars, and this has been the perfect amount. And I pour it all in there. And then I just stir it until all of the ingredients are combined. And the dough is going to be pretty sticky, and that's a good thing. You want it to, because we're going to let this dough sit for 30 minutes before we do anything with it. And you can, you know, poke at it and see if it feels good. So that's it. That's all I'm doing with this at this point. And I'm going to put a timer on for 30 minutes, and I will see you then. That's it. Okay, so my 30 minutes is up, and now I'm going to pull my dough, and I'll show you how I do that. Okay, so I always sprinkle a little bit of flour on top of my dough, kind of rub it around, and I never take it out of my bowl. And I just take the sides and I pull it and I fold it. And I pull it and I fold it. And I pull it and I fold it. And I do this all the way around. And at this point it's still really sticky, and that's okay. And that's it. And now we're going to turn the timer on, and we're going to do it again. Okay, so here we are on time 2. And as you see, it's still sticky, and that's okay. We're going to sprinkle a little bit more flour on it, kind of rub it in. And then once again, I'm going to stretch it. And I'm just going to go around the dough and stretch. And this takes the place of the kneading. I'm going to let this sit again for 30 minutes, and I'm going to do it 2 more times because I do it for a total of 4 times. also at this point, I am going to split the dough into 2 pieces because it is a double batch. I'm going to put them in 2 separate bowls and cover it with saran wrap. And this dough is going to sit overnight, and it's just going to rise and do its thing. And then I will usually just sprinkle a little bit more flour at this point. Now, I know some people do a little, like push and tuck method on the counter, and I just kind of do this in my hands. So now I'm just going to cover both of these bowls with some plastic wrap. I like this bowl with the handles because it just, kind of squishes in there. I think I'm going to put another piece over this bowl. I don't usually use this bowl. The bowl I use is in the dishwasher, so just want to make sure that it's not going to come uncovered. This isn't the greatest bowl for this, but I'm going to use it anyway. And so now this is going to set all night. I'm going to stick it over here on the stove, and I'll see you in the morning. Okay, so I am back, and now I'm going to take my risen dough, and I am going to put it in. I'm going to use this bowl, and I'm also going to use this bowl, but I'm going to line it with parchment paper, and then I'm just going to put a grocery bag around each bowl, and I'm going to stick them in the fridge for an hour or 2. So while my dough is in the refrigerator, I'm going to heat my this Dutch oven, and I heat it for about an hour. I like to cook or bake my bread 1 loaf at a time. So now I'm going to put my dough in their little bowls. And no, you do not have to line this with parchment paper. I just do because I bake it with the parchment paper, and it's just easier to like lift it out and put it in the pan or in the Dutch oven. Okay, so I'm going to lift my dough out. Okay, and for this other one, I'm going to take it out of this bowl, set it in the other bowl while I put the parchment paper in it, and then put it back in. So that's it. And if when you're, putting your dough in these bowls, it's a little on the sticky side, that's not a big deal. Just, add a little bit of flour. In my experience of doing sourdough this way, it always bakes the same. Okay, so now I've got my bread in its bowl, or my bread dough in the bowls, just like that. And now all I'm going to do is put a little plastic grocery bag on them, and I'll show you how I do that. You can also use plastic wrap. I just always have these, so it's a good way to use them. And I twist it, get the air out, and I twist it like that, and I just tie it. Just like that. And these are gonna go into the fridge. Okay, and I also lower this rack to the second to the lowest. And then I just put this in my oven. And I preheat it to 450. And then I just set my timer for an hour. Okay, and that's it for now, and I'll see you back here in 1 hour. Okay, so I am ready to bake my first sourdough. So I'm just gonna take the bag off of the bowl. And I'm going to take the whole dough out. And you're gonna wanna make little slashes in it. I'm not fancy about it. I just make my slashes. Anytime I try and be fancy, it doesn't look fancy, so, and it all tastes the same. So I have this little tool that I got on Amazon, and I just make some little slashes in my dough. Oops. That's it. And I pull my pan out of the oven, or my Dutch oven out of the oven. And I just drop this whole thing in, and I put my lid back on. Put it back in the oven. And I set it for 30 minutes. Okay, so that is gonna bake with the lid on for 30 minutes. Then you're gonna take the lid off, and a lot of recipes will show to do another 15 minutes. My oven runs high, so I do another 13 minutes with no lid, and then I pull it out and set my bread on a cooling rack. And that's it. I hope this video was helpful. Anyway, have a great day. Bye.